Have you ever landed on a website and it feels like it's, well, reading your mind? And then others, you just want to throw your laptop out the window. Well, that's not by accident. It's all by design. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the art and really the science of how websites get you to click.
So let me start with a question. What do a truly great website and an absolutely terrible one have in common? Think about the best site you use every day and then the absolute worst one you can imagine. They actually share one big fundamental goal.
And here it is. They both want to influence you. That's it. Whether it's a huge online store or just a tiny personal blog, every single website is built with a purpose, to guide your behavior and get you to do something. Of course, some are, shall we say, a little less subtle about it than others. I mean, look at this. This masterpiece is what happens when every rule of good design just gets completely ignored. It's pure chaos, right? It's screaming for your attention from every possible direction.
So why do they try so hard to influence us? Well, it's pretty simple. The competition is insane. There are almost 2 billion websites out there. Just having one isn't enough anymore. To stand out from that massive crowd, you need a seriously smart strategy to get people's attention and, more importantly, to keep it.
So, how did we get here? How did we go from that kind of digital chaos to the super smooth online stores we use today? Well, the journey from the Wild West of the early internet to now, it actually happened surprisingly fast.
I mean, the web's evolution has been lightning fast. Remember the 90s? It was just sensory overload, pop-up ads, clunky flash animations, those little visitor counters. Then the 2000s came along, and social media like MySpace completely changed how we interacted online. And by the 2010s, you had giants like Amazon and Google setting a totally new standard for what we expect, an experience that works seamlessly on any device.
And to really understand how modern web design works, you gotta look at the company that basically wrote the playbook. So, let's break down the Amazon blueprint.
Amazon's dominance is absolutely not an accident. It is the direct result of a core philosophy that is baked into every single pixel of their site. Their homepage isn't just a web page, it's a finely tuned machine with one single obsessive purpose: to make buying stuff as easy and frictionless as humanly possible. This right here is the bedrock of their whole strategy. And look, it's not just some corporate jargon they put on a poster. This idea of customer obsession, it's the engine that drives everything, and it turns casual visitors into repeat buyers. It's why their website is just so incredibly effective.
Now here's where it gets really interesting, seeing how those big ideas actually translate into features on the site. Think about it. Simple online returns, a search bar that actually finds what you want, suggestions for products you might like. These aren't just nice little conveniences. They are direct proof of that customer obsession, all designed to make your experience better.
And what the Amazon model really shows us is that a modern website's mission is so much bigger than just being an online brochure. It has to juggle a whole bunch of different jobs all at once.
You should really think of a modern website as like a Swiss Army knife. It's not just for one thing. At the same time, it's a salesperson, a 24/7 customer service agent, a brand ambassador, and, a data analyst. It's the core of a company's entire marketing strategy.
And you can see this perfect, direct line between a business goal and your experience. For example, let's say a company's big goal is to improve customer service. Okay, so on the website, that objective becomes resolve more issues online. And what's the value for you, the customer? Easy returns without ever having to pick up the phone and wait on hold. It's a win-win.
So to hit all these goals, websites have another secret mission. They are constantly gathering insights about you. They use tools like Google Analytics to run this powerful loop, collect data on how you use the site, analyze that data for patterns, and then use what they learn to make your next visit even better. All right, so we've covered the what and the why, but let's get into the how. How do designers actually create these experiences that feel so intuitive? Well, it all comes down to understanding the psychology of a click. Welcome to the world of user experience, or UX.
User experience, UX. It's all about how a website feels to use. It's the science of making things simple, effective, and maybe even a little bit fun. Good UX is pretty much invisible. You only really notice it when it's bad. Now, one of the key psychological principles that designers basically live by is something called Hick's Law. And put really simply, it just means that the more choices you give someone, the longer it takes them to actually make a decision. On the web, less is almost always more.
And this is Hick's Law in action. On one side, you've got total chaos. Too many options, which leads to frustration and what they call decision paralysis. But on the other side, you've got clarity. A site like Best Buy doesn't just throw every TV at you at once. They group them into clear categories, which reduces your mental workload and guides you right to what you're looking for.
But, this whole evolution is far from over. In fact, websites are about to get a whole lot smarter thanks to some incredible new technologies that are changing how your browser works right now.
I mean, the line between the digital world and the real world is getting blurrier every day. Check this out. Levi's is using an AI virtual stylist to help you find the perfect pair of jeans. And L'Oreal lets you virtually try on makeup using your phone's camera. It's amazing.
And this isn't some far-off science fiction, AI chatbots, augmented reality, super personalized content, these tools are being used right now to make websites more interactive, more helpful, and way more tailored to you as an individual.
So what does this all mean? Well, the big takeaway is that websites are not just static, digital brochures anymore. They're quickly evolving into these dynamic, intelligent platforms that act more like your own personal consultant, ready to help you out 24/7. But all of this progress, it does raise a pretty fascinating question. As websites get smarter and more persuasive, who is really in control of the choices you make online? Something to think about the next time you click Add to Cart.